the brand new Harry Potter play was just opened in previews, at least in England, and perhaps to coincide with that news, USAopoly has announced a Harry Potter deck building game, and this is firstly interesting because there aren't really, we've talked a bit before about how there aren't a lot of Harry Potter board games. There was a Harry Potter trading card game for a while.
I remember
died.
that.
And there's been your odd little like movie license cheap kids games kind of things.
You mean like the one I have on the show, the
Yeah, which
3D tower?
We need to play that. But I always say, I want the Fantasy Flight Harry Potter or an LCG Harry Potter. We've talked about different possibilities they could do. Well, this seems like maybe a step in that direction. And the other thing that's weird is that, to my knowledge, it's USAopoly, who the only other things I ever see them doing are Yahtzee, Clue, and Monopoly.
Well,
this sounds like a little more outside their comfort zone.
Yes, and I think I know why.
Okay.
As you said,
straight.
The ones you mentioned are all the same thing over and over. And while I love them,
This is a deck building game.
It's a deck building game. And, one of the reasons I love them is because if you bring a deck building game to the table and people have played one, usually they already have half the strategy down in their head.
Right. You want to buy the bigger cards. Good job. You know how to play.
So I think it's for them to start entering, I guess, the new board game meta, I guess, for lack of
more
mainstream,
more hobbyists kind of, I guess.
I think deck building is the best place for them to enter. And knowing that they probably have every license under the sun, and no one's touched Harry Potter, like you said, it seems to be the smart choice.
Well, it sounds like this would be, it makes sense as if you do choose to play as one of the students and you're defending Hogwarts and you're buying new spells to build your deck, which makes sense. It's like, oh, you're actually learning spells as you go, which is kind of cool. I am curious, I don't know. I wonder if this will have its own kind of spin, whereas like every other series of deck building games has its own kind of spin. I'm pretty sure it's DC style, not Dominion style, and that it's not a set things you can buy.
It's the random, which personally I prefer a little bit more because I like the randomness.
It depends.
But some people like the other.
Well, I like if there's, like in Dominion, when you have all the expansions, so it's not always the same preset every time. But yeah, that's another discussion. But
yeah.
but Harry Potter, I like it.
Yeah. What I think would have been a cool idea.
Yeah.
For maybe a later on game. It could work in deck building too, but if you didn't really play as maybe a person, like strictly as I'm Hermione or whatever, but maybe more of like you played as a house or something, and maybe because of that you were restricted some way, or maybe you had to find out which house you were. Like this is easier to cast if you're a Slytherin or something, or like Gryffindor can't touch this because it's completely against the house.
That sounds cool. No, there's a lot. I feel like Harry Potter is similar to Star Wars in that.
There's a lot of lore to
so many different ways you could take it. Like and we always say like Star Wars, what if there was just a bounty hunter game or whatever? There could be all kinds of
another awesome
things.
idea. Harry Potter Legacy game in which each year of Hogwarts. So it's 7 games.
Whoa, that's pretty good. I'd split them each into 2 though.
I mean, you could do that too, but you get the idea. The winter break. There's winter and summer break.
Yeah,
or whatever they call it
in in England, whatever they call Christmas in England.
I'm not sure if they have different like break periods or something.
According to the Harry Potter books, they don't. I think they're all the same. Yeah. So
I mean, Harry Potter is a fandom that, as you said, haven't been really tapped well.
And I also think that it's a good, now that the books are all finished, even though there's more stories coming out. They don't like. I think one of the traps for me, the video games came into, is that they had
board games too.
Well, specifically for Harry Potter, I'm talking about, was that like this is based on book 3, this is based on book 4, so like they had to fit this many details or leave those out.
Also because that movie was coming out too.
Right. So now it's like they can be a little more fluid and draw from different areas.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that is actually going to come out at Gen Con, and they're going to have some there for sale.
You got to pick one of those
If it's like good, if it's not just generic deck building, if there's something cool about it, I'm tempted to try it.
However, I know because I remember when this first was announced, hearing someone saying they're going to buy it whether it's good or bad, solely to support the idea that there should be a Harry Potter game. And honestly, if there was a Transformers game like that wasn't movie like Monopoly, I probably would do
Well,
the
that's
same.
different. Well, because I mean, I do love the Harry Potter franchise, but I know that there's been enough. Like, if there was, for instance, like a Buffy deck building game, even if it was bad, like that's what I would buy no matter what. Harry Potter, I can.
No, but no,
I can
the
look
point
at it.
is,
Yeah.
everyone has their thing they've been dying to get their hands on.
Everyone has their thing. There will be a Firefly deck building game. Anyway.